All right, so for this last week, we're basically just doing final calculations and whatnot for the project. Your project is due on May 6th. Okay. Um, on May 8th, we are going to be taking a practice final exam. Okay. So I need you to complete both the final exam review one of two as well as the final exam review. Let me change this to two of two. Okay. So I need you to complete both of these final exam reviews. If you have these completed before class, before we take the final exam, um, then I will add 5 points to your final exam grade, the practice final exam grade. Okay. So for those of you who have not had me for a class before, we're gonna take the practice final exam next week on Thursday. Okay. And I will give you your grade for the semester based on that final exam practice grade. Okay. If you are satisfied with that final average, then you do not have to come in the following week and take the final exam. Okay. You can use that practice grade as your final exam grade. Okay. If you do not have at least a 75% or higher on that practice, you should have a Manage First certificate that Scantron that looks like this that says Manage First on it. Okay, that should have come with your textbook. If you have that Scantron and you do not have a 75 or higher on the practice final exam, then you'll need to come back and take the final exam the following week. So it'll give you a chance to study and take those quizzes again, and then come back and take the final exam officially. So the practice is just kind of a good way to figure out what you need to study for the actual final exam the following week. Okay. I do need you to bring, I took all my Scantrons into my classroom. I do need you to bring an 882-E Scantron. It looks like this. Okay. That is, again, 882-E. The green Scantron looks just like this. Okay. Um, if you do not have a Scantron, you don't want to go buy one. That's okay. I have a ton of Scantrons. Um, they just cost a quarter. Okay. It basically just covers my costs so I can purchase some new ones for the next semester. Um, the bookstore used to sell individual Scantrons. Um, but for whatever reason, I think they just went to a whole package model now. They don't sell them as individual Scantrons. So if you don't want to buy a whole package, if you don't need them for your other classes, then you can just bring a quarter. And I have some extra 882-E Scantrons. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns about next week or the practice final exam?
For the practice, we actually have to be there in person.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, sir,
Thank you.
this is Moses. This
Thanks.
is
Sorry, Moses.
Moses.
Moses, hold on one second. Sorry.
Yes,
Thank you so
sir.
much for asking that question. I did not think about that. Yes, this final exam does have to be taken in person. There is not an online option for this one.
That's
All right.
next week, right? Or is
Next
it
week
weekend?
on Thursday,
Okay.
Thursday the 8th. Yes, Moses, go ahead.
Yo, sir, I just want a quick question because I didn't get all the, I just came in. So you were talking earlier. Can you just kind of just recap what you said earlier, if that's not too much?
Yeah, sure. So basically, for the quizzes, you
Hmm.
want to, before next week on the 8th, okay?
Hmm.
So on Thursday the 8th, we're going to take a practice final exam. You need
Okay.
to have completed both the one review one of two and the review two of two for the final
Okay.
exams. Okay.
Okay.
And then you're
But
going to
other than
come
that,
in with
go
the
ahead.
882-E Scantron, or you bring a
Okay.
quarter and you can get a Scantron from me. If you do have this Manage First Scantron,
Okay.
right, from the textbook, you also need to bring that in. If you don't
Okay.
bring that in, you're going to come back in to fill it out. But
Okay.
if you have it, go ahead and bring it. That way, in the case that you are above a 75%, then you can just copy your answers right over to that Manage for Scantron.
Okay. So one other question on the proving ground solution. So that was mandatory,
No, those are optional.
optional. Okay. Um, and number
They do
two, so we,
not they do not
yes.
affect your grade at all. So if there's
Okay.
zeros in the grade book for them, or there's no grade in the grade book, it's not going to affect your grade at all.
Okay. Okay. But other than that, I'm pretty much up to date, caught up.
I don't know because I'm not looking at my grade book, but if you look at your grade book and you're all caught
Mhm.
up, then I trust that you're all caught up.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
Yes, sir. So, so
Any
final
other?
thoughts. So we'll come in on next Thursday, the 8th.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Come in next week on Thursday the 8th.
Okay. But not this Thursday.
No, this Thursday will
Next.
be the last opportunity to get any kind of help with the project, and then your
Okay.
project is due on the 6th.
Okay. Got you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it,
You're
sir.
welcome. And you do not have to log in on Thursday at all. Okay. I'm not going to be taking attendance on Thursday. I will be in Colorado and I'm taking a personal day. So since it's just Culture Fest here on campus, there really isn't much going on. Um, and so I'm not even going to log into Zoom on Thursday.
Hey, so why can't you should have done a field trip with us?
I'll bring back pictures. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead, Ray.
So you said if we do take the practical test on Thursday, based on that grade, you will give us the a feedback where we at, and then it's up to based on that, I guess. Then we know how to take the final test.
Correct.
All right, I just want to understand that.
Yeah. So I give a practice final. Okay. And I think one reason why I call it a practice final is that sometimes people have test anxiety and they get really nervous during tests, right? And so by just calling this a practice, it's just your opportunity to practice and see where you need to study more for the actual final. Okay. So by calling it a practice, I found that it kind of removes a lot of that anxiety because you know that there's one other opportunity to take it after that. And so you might actually surprise yourself um, by doing well if you've taken those two reviews. If you've done those and completed them,
Yeah.
then and I would take them more than once. Okay, I wouldn't just do it one and done. I would take them multiple times, and you may even want to on Wednesday night do those reviews one more time, and maybe Thursday morning before the test do those reviews one more time. Okay. So I would recommend that you do those reviews and then you'll be really prepared for that practice final.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Yes, I got a question, but it's about the project.
Okay. So
Um,
before we do that, let me wrap up any questions about this before I'll stop the recording and then anybody who wants to log off can log off. So any other questions about what's going to happen next week? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. If you do not have questions about the project, then you are welcome to log off. I will see you all next week on Thursday in class.